He did nothing that we got to know him much. He couldn't socialize. He couldn't get around like many of us. He couldn't travel, go jump on a plane and go here and there. No, he couldn't do all that. But you know, what he could do, he did. What he could enjoy, he enjoyed. Like to do some duck hunting. Like to do a bit of fishing here and there. Whenever he can get away and do what he could, he did. I looked at these pictures in the back there, all them pictures. And I never saw not one. I didn't think that guy was miserable. I don't know what's wrong with him. Every one of them, he had a smile plastered on his face that gunpowder couldn't blow off. Matter of fact, he had a smile on it. Even he's got a picture of there when he was a little older boy at the wedding of his aunt and uncle.
They're here today.
Are married?
They're here today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bless their heart. Yeah, when he was a little boy, same smile, plastered on his face. I said, that guy always smiling. I'm trying to tell you something, friends. I'm really trying to get you to understand this guy. In spite of his illness, in spite of his sickness, in spite of his hard times, he was the man who still comes through on the inside. A man still enjoying life. As you can imagine with me, then he became a sick man. He no longer could earn top dollar. So he had to settle for a fixed income, limited income. But as I listened and I to them talking, I realized that man, even though he didn't have much heart, was as soft and as compassionate for other people. He recognized how his life was changed. One of his favorite charities was the War Ambs. Recognized that many of those men and women's lives was changed by an instant calamity. You know about it. He couldn't give much, but he gave what he can, as often as he can, to help somebody else. You see, I'm trying to tell you, he didn't focus on himself. Looking beyond, always, who can I help and how can I help? For this family, he has left a legacy. For you, the family. Something that he has handed down to you, and I want you to hold on to it. He left you an undying love. He left you unconditional love. I listened to what you said just now, you know. Some of you didn't pick it up. It didn't matter what his children or grandchildren did, he loved them just the same. That's called an unconditional love. Love not changed by circumstances. That's his legacy. He left you. Take time to laugh and not complain. Don't give up because of tough times. Come on, man. For you and me, friends, I think he has given us a few lessons to learn. He's showed us a few examples that we need to follow. I believe he's also left us a few hazards that we need to avoid so that our lives, all of our lives, could be fulfilled in spite of what we have to go through, in spite of what life may throw at us. And just as I finish, the song was read a while ago that was played. Wind beneath my wings. He was the wind for his family. You heard it. And I would suggest to you, friends, that his family has been the wind beneath his wings. Let me explain. The basic principle here is that in order for a plane to fly, great big, heavy plane to fly, wind must be beneath its wing. I feel like, no, I'm not going to get technical on you at all. I had to read all this before today, study it, make sure I knew what we're talking about. Wind beneath the wing causes the wings, the big airplane, to lift, to be lifted high. In a family, friends, when we go through rough and difficult times, most of us go down. We feel low, we sometimes feel depressed. We need something that's strong enough to lift us, something that would take us out of the situation that we're in and lift us high. Jim, and you heard it now. I'm not telling you nothing. If you're listening, they all said the same thing. Jim was the kind of guy that would lift them up. And I want to suggest that Jim was lifted up by his family as they supported him, helped him, encouraged him on. That's what Jim did. With his positive attitude, with his jokes, with his determination not to give up, with his courage to face any trials that came their way, I think Shana said it also. She said when she was weak, she said, Daddy, I rely on your strength. She said it and she said it. All of them said the same thing. That grandpa's been there to encourage them, to lift them up. Any person having to go through life for 30 years with MS and still be happy and fulfilled, confident in life, had to be supported by a family that loved him and cared for him very much. He was a courageous man for choosing to go through life with his illness, doing the best he could, not giving up or giving in. He believed in working through the good and the tough times, taking time to pray to God, who promised him that he'll never leave him nor forsake him. The last thing I asked his family was, give me one word to describe Jim. Zola said, fabulous. I'm not giving no explanation to none of it right now. Jenny said, magnetic. And I asked John, and John said, comical. Every one of the things they said was positive. None of them reflected on his illness. None of them reflected on anything on his life that would show anything but good and positive. Friends, you don't know how powerful this is. I'm serious. That was powerful. Jim, may you rest in peace, knowing that your life has touched, has influenced, and encouraged many people for the good. May God indeed bless you, my friend. As we bring this memorial celebration to a close, I pray that you would take with you, as I have taken with me, encouragement. And things might come my way as not so good. I pray that you might receive strength, knowing you're never alone. And I ask, indeed, that you would keep this family in your prayers and in your thoughts. I'm going to ask you to bow your heads, and I'm going to pronounce the benediction just now. Now may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace, in believing that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. May the Lord, this same God, bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Amen.
Now in one moment, we're just going to hear the beginning of a song, and then the family's going to leave. We're going to process out of it. Heaven must be a wonderful place. The song that's going to be played is How Beautiful Heaven Must Be. That's the song that we're going to listen to just now. And as they do, we're going to leave. You're all invited to the Legion to share in a light lunch, and you can get an opportunity to speak with the family just after. Thank you again for your presence.
congregation please rise? Just have you follow with me, okay? God's light is forever there shine.